Hello everyone, my name is Mocha. So as you guys can tell, this is a different type of video than I do on my other channel. As a sort of introductory video, I just wanted to do something that I was passionate about and I really wanted to talk about. But, without further ado, let's get into this unscripted video about my problems with current FNAF. Now, Five Nights at Freddy's is an indie horror game series created by Scott Cawthon in the year 2014 as a sort of last hurrah, his final attempt at making a popular game before quitting game development altogether. And, well, we all know how that worked out. My issues arise mostly with the fandom, but also a bit with the storytelling of FNAF as a whole. Let me explain. FNAF has never really been a complicated series. It's just very vague. It only really gets complicated when you try to take the things that are sort of brought ahead at face value and overcomplicate them with aspects introduced elsewhere, such as stuff that was previously considered non-canon being considered canon, or stuff that was considered canon suddenly being non-canon. It really complicates everything, and everything just sort of gets tied into a huge knot of unfixable lore. Even the first 6 games, the first series of FNAF games that we know are canon and we basically have the story down, are the foundation of the current canon and the lore that's being built upon with Security Breach, Ruin, and Help Wanted. It's not even confirmed that the story that we think we know is canon. And to me, that's a huge problem. Because for a good story, you need to know that that story is the story, if you get what I mean. For us to understand the story, we need to know what's happening in the story. We need to know what is canon, what actually happened, and what, events actually occurred, and what isn't canon. And we also need to know how these events occurred, the motivations, etc. FNAF, as it stands now, really does not deliver upon this. It's a bunch of vague, basic nonsense being told through second guesses. Pretty much everything that we have in FNAF right now is based on speculation and just generally agreed upon stuff that can be interpreted in many different ways, which to me doesn't provide a good story. What I think needs to be done is that FNAF needs to centralize its lore. We need a good canon source of information for what's going on within the FNAF story. For example, what I mean is, let's clarify what's actually going on within those first 6 games. Instead of having a story that we basically are just guessing about and then building upon that, creating basically fan fiction at this point, because, listen, a lot of FNAF theories at this point are basically building upon interpretations of interpretations of interpretations, to the point where we're nearly at a point where FNAF just doesn't exist as it actually does. It's just a bunch of fan interpretations of what could be going on. What I want is an actual clarification of the story that's being told, so that we can actually try and understand the current lore of stuff like Security Breach or Help Wanted. Of course, I don't mean tell us every single secret from the current FNAF lore. That'd be ridiculous, but something like a book or a short or some sort of game, something to clarify the stories of FNAF 1 through FNAF Ultimate Custom Night would be great. Mostly because we literally have basically nothing, absolutely nothing, to sort of confirm or deconfirm bits of lore that we know. First of all, stuff like Golden Freddy having 2 spirits or 1 spirit, who is the crying child, who died first. Basic details like that are stuff that's still argued on. Even minor details like, oh, who did the bite of 87, or oh, is William Afton really William Afton? Because Mike Trap might be a thing. Oh, it's not generally agreed upon, but it's still a theory that can happen. Or, oh, is William Afton even really dead? Or something like that. People keep on arguing about this, and I think while sort of interpreting the current lore, if we're still going back to the beginning of the series and interpreting things differently and just coming to completely different conclusions to the fact where two different people could come out with basically two separate stories from the same product, I think we just need clarification. This is basically just a call-out post to the entirety of the FNAF fandom. We need to stop accepting this sort of storytelling. We need a centralized canon, and we need something to work with. At least something to sort of build our theories upon. But I think that's enough for now. I could go on for hours about this, but I think I've gotten my point across. Do you guys agree with me? Should FNAF have a more centralized lore and canon that's sort of elaborated upon so that we can actually have a basis for the theorizing that we're doing for the current story? Or should FNAF remain as vague as it always has been? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And be sure to subscribe for more stuff like this. This channel will be for more random stuff that I do in the future. Like, I might be posting, like, singing covers in the future. But without further ado, thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye!
Killer flow, watching the stars in the sky fade and then you glow. Wipe a tear from my eyes, so damn beautiful. A work of art from the start. I already know that I'd want you and you'd want me, and we would